I was born in Oak Park, Illinois, and then moved to Wheaton, Illinois when I was 4.
I'm from in the Philippines. I was born and raised in the Philippines, Manila.
I'm from Glendale, California, born and raised.
I am a native Californian, tracing my ancestry back to pre-Gold Rush days.
My grandfather, my dad's dad, passed away 10 days after I was born. So right away, when I came into the world, there was some grieving that was going around. And then I had a grandmother who passed away on Christmas Day a few years later. So I just kind of have realized, thinking back on it, that, you know, and just even watching my parents handle you know, their parents passing away and just how they did that with such grace and such faith.
Through the conversation with my uncle, every time they go back home and I saw them from the mission, so I said, I really wanted to become one of them. So that triggered me to follow their steps.
I grew up as a Roman Catholic, and through high school and so on, as any good Catholic kid would do, I considered the priesthood, but there were certain restrictions at the time, one of which was celibacy, which never seemed to be that attractive to me, even as a teenager, or especially as a teenager. So I didn't consider priesthood much beyond that. But then when I started attending college, I started looking around for a different system of belief, and became a Lutheran. I went through college, seminary, was ordained, and have been serving as a pastor ever since.
I had a good childhood. I had good friends. It was kind of a tumultuous time to grow up in the 60s. And also, my mother passed away at 49. So I was 15 years old when she died. And although I told myself then it would not affect me in my life, because I couldn't let that happen. Other people had experienced, you know, it was a huge loss. And so from really 15 on, it was a devastating time period for me.
I played baseball. In fact, my mom came to all the games because she was home, and my dad worked in Chicago. We lived in the suburbs, but he would come when he could. And when I'd come up to bat, I could always hear him yell out, "Be ready, be ready," you know, for the pitch coming in. And when I spoke at his service, I said, "Hey, I don't know anybody that was more ready to meet the Lord than my dad. He really fostered a relationship with God throughout his whole life."
Around the 6-month mark, being with Hospice Care of the West, I was thinking, how would I express my pleasure of working with hospice? And one day I was visiting an end-stage Alzheimer's patient. And I was visiting with him and speaking with him for 15 minutes. And when I left, the thought occurred to me, that was a good visit. And I thought, he said nothing to me, but I felt it was a good visit. And I thought, that's the nature of working with hospice, that it goes far beyond conversation. It goes far beyond, I would almost say, anything logical or rational. There's a feeling about it. There's the interrelationship that's there means such a great deal.
There was this patient whom I'm following with, and he is an agnostic, and he was a veteran. We got connected because he was assigned in the Philippines in World War II. And he wanted me to continually visiting him. at first we were not talking about God, but later, as I follow visiting him, we got connected and we talk about it. And yeah, he kind of listened to me. And before he died last week, he just told me that I do believe that there is someone there, and he really appreciates me seeing him, and even if he's an agnostic, and the time that I spent with him.
When I go out to visit with somebody right towards the end of life, you know, I don't hear, you know, gosh, Dave, you know, bring me my awards, bring me my achievements, bring me my diplomas. You know, I want to see the things I've done, but it's always bring me my friends, you know, bring me my family. Because I think, you know, at the end of, what I'll share is at the end of life, at the end of the day and at the end of life, what matters is people, not things. And so I think I've always just kind of, you know, put that emphasis on, or tried to put the emphasis on people.
When it came time to celebrate the life of their mother and father, they had it in one of their homes, invited family and friends, and both Dave and I took a portion of that celebration and did that together. It was, can I say fun? It's sad from a compassion standpoint, but it was a great celebration, and it was wonderful to work side by side with Dave.
Being a pastor of a congregational church, it becomes a very homogeneous experience. Many of the people have the same beliefs or very close to the same beliefs. I wanted more diversity. I wanted to be in a relationship, in dialogue with people from different religious backgrounds.
Sometimes people will either ask or just kind of comment, I just don't want it to be painful. I don't want it to hurt. And again, the encouragement that I'm able to give them is that's why hospice is here. Hospice is about comfort care. And you've got a nurse, and you've got a social worker, you've got a home health aide, you've got a volunteer, and you've got the chaplain coming in. And we're gonna do our best to have you be comfortable.
I also let them know that death is not the end. On the contrary, it is a start of a new life. So it's a very fulfilling time to be with a dying patient.
To me, one of the main purposes for hospice is truly to bridge that gap, to bring medical, physical, and spiritual aspects together, because they're so important.